more fat and build muscle faster with this simple trick, coach. And today we're going to talk about supersets, okay? Because with a lot of people, they try to make certain things as simple as possible, or look for solutions that are simple as possible to help them break their weight loss plateaus or even the muscle building plateaus. But the body, being the smart machine that it is, it adapts to them. So you want to find new ways to make the body give you what you want. And one of those ways are supersets. Basically, a superset is when you pair two exercises back to back before taking rest periods. So where most people come in, they do a standard set. They'll do pull-ups, then they'll rest, and they'll do another set of pull-ups, and then rest, and however many sets that they have to do for that program. Those would be just regular standard straight sets. For supersets, I may do something like, I may do pull-ups and then run and do some rows, some incline dumbbell rows. Then take a break, okay? And there's different types of supersets. I'll explain what the different types of supersets are that help you so that you can use them in the right way to help you break plateaus and keep making progress, no matter if your goal is weight loss or if your goal is building muscle. We're going to talk about the types of supersets. So the first type of superset, they call it an agonist superset. So basically with the agonist superset, it's supersets for the same muscle group, okay? So there's benefits of this because you can challenge a muscle to work harder because you're now performing two exercises for the same muscle group before taking a break or taking a rest period. So that makes the muscle have to find ways to work harder. Okay, so what usually happens, you'll do a set and the muscle will get tired and then you rest, okay? So it's going to use so many muscle fibers to do that. But if you do a superset, those original fibers are going to tire. It's going to have no rest, and that muscle is going to have to recruit more and more muscle fibers. The other ways that the agonist superset, there's different types of agonist supersets, all right? So there are some where they call them pre-exhaust, or an example for pre-exhaust is let's say if I was a woman and I really wanted to light up my glutes and put my glutes on fire, right? So I may do a hip thrust right before going to do hip thrust or glute drive or whatever it is, hip thrust or glute drive before going to squat, which this is great because in the squat, your glutes are working stretched, in the stretch position, and in the hip thrust, it's the end range. Those movements complement each other, and by the time, if you do the hip thrust, by the time you get to the squat, when you get in that bottom squat, your glutes are going to be fire, okay? But that's a pre-exhaust, okay? That's a pre-exhaust superset, which meaning you're using a one joint exercise, the hip thrust, before the two joint, or they call it a single joint versus a compound exercise, which would be, the compound exercise would be the squat, okay? So that's an example of it. That would be an example of a pre-exhaust superset or a pre-exhaust agonist superset. All right. These will also be good for fat loss because you're stretching out the amount of time that the muscle works, so stretching out time under tension, but the amount of rest that you get gets smaller because the work time gets longer. And the studies will show when you look at HIIT, high intensity interval training, high intensity resistance training, that smaller work to rest ratios work better for your fat loss and work better for your calorie building and burning, because you burn more calories. If you're working hard enough, you burn more calories up to 24 hours after the workout. The next type of superset is called an antagonist superset, okay? So with antagonist supersets, I like using them with clients even if they have a low level of fitness, because I can use them to get a lot of work done in a short amount of time, which can help their fat loss and stuff like that, but it can also help their muscle building because or actually help their conditioning, because again, we're making that work to rest ratio shorter by extending the amount of time that you're working. So what antagonistic muscles are, or antagonistic movements are. So if I did a bench press or a push-up, okay, the antagonistic movement or exact opposite muscle group would be a row, okay? If I did a shoulder press, the exact opposite would be a pull-up. So those are, they would also call them push-pull supersets, but antagonistic, that's basically what it is. It's some sort of the opposite. And I like those because I can also, though, like, unlike agonist supersets, antagonist supersets, the muscle being worked isn't being interfered with. So because I'm working my back in the other part of the superset, that doesn't interfere with my chest work other than my conditioning, which supersets is also great for improving your conditioning, because again, you're making your body have to recover, even if it's just aerobically, in less time. But I really like the antagonistic supersets because again, I can really crunch that down, and doing rows don't interfere with your chest muscle or any type of antagonistic setup. I tend to use a lot with beginners. Back in the day, I learned about, I read a book from Charles Poliquin called German Body Comp, and I think it's been appeared in a couple magazines and deals since then. I think the book's called German Body Comp, or before that was Manly Fat Loss. Anyway, what he tended to do is he used a lot of supersets, but he would pair upper body with lower body. So maybe the first exercise may be a deadlift in that one, okay? And then you would take a break, you know. Bench press paired with a leg press or paired with a squat or something like that. So again, these types of these exercises are paired together. So even though you worked your chest, your performance isn't going to be impaired when you work the other exercise in the superset. Like again, in the agonist superset. So the agonist superset is kind of advanced, but these type of upper body, lower body pairings are great because they don't interfere. The muscle that you just worked doesn't interfere with the other muscle in the superset. So then it's just a question of conditioning, which if you keep performing them, you can get better and better and better. So that's what's real important about the upper body, lower body superset there, or how it can be used. So I used to use them, and then like in this German Body Comp workouts where you can work the whole body. You know, it would be leg press paired with row, deadlift or hip thrust paired with bench press or push-ups, and then maybe lateral raise paired with reverse crunch. And then lastly, you just do arms and biceps and triceps. You've got a full body workout. You've got different ways to manipulate that workout to where you can help your fat loss by testing your conditioning, and you can also test your strength with lower rep ranges. Like a lot of people like everything 15 and 20, 25, whatever. I can bring them down as low as 6 to 8 reps, and that could also help you build muscle and burn fat. All right, some of the benefits of using supersets. Okay, so supersets help your workout being time efficient. So there's a lot of people where they don't have a lot of time to get their workout in. Well, as opposed to do a set, rest a minute. Let's say the set lasts you 30 seconds. Doing a set, rest 2 minutes or a minute. Doing a set, rest a minute. Doing a set, rest a minute. You know, you will get a minute and a half, and then 3 minutes or whatever, right? So again, if you pair that with 2 exercises before getting the same rest, your body can release more fat burning hormones. Okay. You're going to get more work done in less time because your work to rest ratio. So if I had 2 exercises that lasted 30 seconds before resting even a minute and a half, where before when it was 30 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute and a half, that's 3 to 1. Now I'm making my workout more dense because I have 30-30, that would make it 1 minute and then resting a minute and a half. Okay, I would get more work done because I'm sitting around resting less. Supersets help you burn more calories. There's research out there, again, like I mentioned earlier, with high intensity interval training, high intensity resistance training, and things like that. Anytime where you're getting a lot of work done in a short period of time, you know, as if you're working hard. Some people, they'll try to foo-foo it up just so they can get through the workout and don't want to be tested. But if you put in that work in, you get that work in hard, they'll show that that your metabolism will elevate. In addition to releasing fat-burning hormone and things like that, increasing your testosterone and burning more calories, your metabolism elevates to where you're burning more calories up to 24 hours, actually up to 36 hours after your workout. So remember, if fat loss is all about creating calorie deficits. So if you can find ways to use the same workouts or very similar workouts to burn more calories, that's going to benefit your fat loss. So think about that. There's that metabolic demand natively put together to make your muscles have to work harder when you're doing your sets. Like again, you got two different types of supersets there, or that can do this. You got a pre-exhaust and a post-exhaust. With the pre-exhaust, you're using the one joint muscle group first in order to fatigue it, and then you're going to use the two joint or compound exercise. So again, it could be, I can do reverse flies before doing rows to make my scapular retractors, or the muscles of my upper back, my traps, my rhomboids, all that stuff work harder as I'm trying to bring those elbow back and squeeze those muscles there. I can do leg extensions before squats if I want to really tax my quads, or before leg press if I really want to make my quads work hard. There's a lot with those pre-exhaust supersets, those make muscles work harder. As reverse, you have post-exhaust supersets, okay? Post-exhaustion. So that would be the exact opposite. So I'm going to hit my squats, and then I'm going to turn around and do that leg extension, okay? Tire out those quads even more. Get deeper muscle fatigue and give that body a reason to say, hey, you know what, this guy's kind of crazy. He's beating us up with these crazy workouts. So we better build more muscle, because now it's being challenged and it gives you a reason to build more muscle. And that's a way that the post-exhaust superset could be used. Supersets can also be a way to test endurance, not just local endurance inside the muscle, but also your aerobic and anaerobic endurance there, because as you're doing all this work, you're stretching out the amount of time that you're working, you know, your system has to supply its muscles with oxygen, or its blood with oxygen, so that you could keep performing this hard work. So it'll get better at doing that. So it will improve your muscular endurance, but it will also improve your aerobic and anaerobic endurance, which would be good for your heart and good for your health. So you can get multiple things from your workouts by using supersets. Some people, they need to be excited about what they're doing. They need to new and fresh things, and the different ways that you can use your supersets to help you get what you want, to help you build muscle, to help you burn body fat. That also creates a challenge and helps you fight boredom, because there's different ways that you can string them together. Many different ways that you can string them together and help you get what you want. You just have to decide what you want and arrange your supersets in a way that will help you get them. And some of those examples I provided earlier could give you some clues, but if you want more different ways to put them together, let me know, or drop a comment below, and I'll throw some more ideas at you. Supersets can be the game changer that you're waiting for. Okay, so just to recap what we went over, supersets are great for improving time efficiency. Okay, you can have shorter rest periods, or you can put two exercises back to back and use the same rest periods, allowing you to get more work done in less time, or allow you to work harder before taking a break. They increase your metabolic demand. So basically, when you string multiple exercises back to back together, so let's say if I'm bench pressing and then I'm doing curls, okay, that forces you to work your muscles to work longer. Okay, you work longer, and if you work longer, you're more likely to build up lactic acid, okay, which helps you have more fat burning hormones. It helps you with calorie burning, because if you at that high intensity, as you work longer, your metabolism elevates to where you're burning more calories after you work out up to 36 hours there. Okay, there's increased fat loss potential, because as you're stringing out them sets with the same rest periods, that makes your body combat by releasing more fat burning hormones, which will help you get lean irrespective of the amount of calories that you burn. All right, so it can enhance muscle growth, because if you use two exercises back to back for the same muscle group, you can increase muscle activation, and you're also increasing time under tension. Again, if I do barbell curl and preacher curl,
that set lasts longer. Okay, so I'm increasing the time under tension, which is the time that muscle is under tension. Okay, and it also gives you the possibilities of increasing your strength if you use them properly. Multiple types of supersets. There are agonist supersets where you're using 2 exercises for the same muscle group, like, for example, a barbell curl and a preacher curl, like I used earlier, or incline curl and a preacher curl or a spider curl, both 2 exercises for the same muscle group. Okay, there are an antagonist superset, so that's 2 exercises for opposing muscle groups. So that would be, again, if I am bench pressing and then I turn around and I do a set of rows, okay, or I'm shoulder pressing, I'm doing a set of chin-ups or lat pull-downs. Okay, those are antagonistic supersets because they're opposing movements or opposing muscle group. And last but not least, there are, let's just say, whole body or full body supersets. So I gave the example earlier of using a leg press and then turning around and doing some dumbbell rows, or lateral raises and doing reverse crunches. So those are for muscle groups, and those are great for people who maybe have goals of fat loss but aren't starting out with great conditioning, and they also have a small amount of time to work out. So you can, again, cram more work into that time frame that you have available to help you burn those calories and get those results. And in addition to that, using non-competing muscle groups, unlike in the agonist sets, that allows the non-working muscle of the superset to rest. So that means if I am doing pull-ups, when I do squats, when I turn to do my squats, my upper body, my lats and my upper back muscles and my arms are resting while I'm doing the squats. Supersets are a powerful tool for anyone looking to optimize their workout. So by combining multiple exercises, or 2 exercises in this case, with minimal rest, and you can increase your calorie burn, you can increase muscle activation, which making your muscles work harder, allowing you to build more muscle, and you can save time. So that could be a win-win situation for a lot of people. Just remember, don't take this lightly. Get into these, ease your way into these, or ease your way into the right types of supersets. And if you have any questions about those, please comment below or drop me an email.